Hello. I've been reading an article in the New Zealand Herald called The TPP and Climate Change by Peter Whitmore, where the author reflects on what will happen to climate change negotiations in the light of the Trans-Pacific Partnership. I have to point out, first of all, that the author is known to me personally, but that I had an immediate reaction to the I presume unquestioned assertion of the author that the need to control climate change by reducing emissions is the most critical and urgent issue facing the international community. Having followed all of this, since COP15 in Copenhagen, since it derailed any possibility of an international consensus to reduce greenhouse emissions in any meaningful way, it has become obvious to any honest person following the science that with many positive feedbacks, the most significant of which are the methane hydrates, a melting permafrost, and an Arctic ice that's melting before our very eyes, the situation is, and I'm expressing it in the mildest way that I possibly can, extremely dire. The meme might be faster than previously thought. Essentially, the truth is it has become much too late to do anything to reverse climate change by reducing emissions. As if that's going to happen. Oh, I can see a herd of pigs flying past my window. Anyone who questions the above either hasn't been following the science or, in my mind, dishonest. In the case of the author and others who are patently trying to make a positive difference, I have to assume the former. Perhaps they're too busy to do anything other than read the summaries of extremely conservative and also false IPCC reports. I can never really know this unless I have the opportunity to engage them in personal conversation. They refuse to look at the empirical knowledge and insist on relying on patently outdated and false data that confirms their political viewpoint, then I will know that they're not just badly informed and wrong, but that they are also probably dishonest as well, as I have come to believe that most liberals are. On the other hand, reality places me in a moral quandary. And it goes something like this. Should I be critical of actions such as CO2 reductions, wind, solar power, etc., all the techno fixes that I'm convinced will make zero difference in reversing climate change? They're surely positive things to do. They're things that we would have wanted to do or want to do if there was a chance in hell they'd make any difference, aren't they? So why should I condemn them, or who am I to condemn them? Perhaps it comes down to motivation. If it is suggested as a way to pull the wool over the eyes of people that it's going to save the world, then I have to condemn it. But in itself, any action, if the intention is good, is infinitely better than the actions of the sociopaths, the psychopaths that rule the world from Wall Street and the US government. Who am I to say otherwise? I certainly can't align myself in any way, means or form with the liberal mindset. I'm not talking here about the psychopaths and the nutcases of the right. Present-day politics of the United States, at least, it comes down to a choice, or seems to come down to a choice, between the criminal on the one hand and the criminally insane on the other. But I'm also uncomfortable with labelling myself as a doomer, or any label, ideological identity or self-identity for that matter. I'm simply an individual who's trying to find out what's true as best I can. I don't think that we can say necessarily that near-term human extinction is an inevitability. There is, I think, always room for doubt in this, although I agree totally the sum of evidence points in that direction. So I'm not a doomer, although there's no group I'd rather hang around or be around than the doomers, that's for sure. All this muddled thinking on my part is a way of saying that I can't come up with any certitudes and I remain in a moral quandary. As far as I'm concerned, may it stay that